In this recording, I want to talk about the Excel ribbon. I've got a graphic here I'd like to go over quickly, and then I'm going to go up to the actual ribbon and demonstrate the use of these various regions. So let's start with the ribbon itself and ribbon tabs. So you see I've got a little graphic here with arrows pointing to the different tabs. But up here on the actual ribbon, let me go over this. I've got a Home tab, and I'm going to click on it. I've got an Insert tab. I click on that, and you'll see the tools change, and now I'm looking at a different part of the ribbon, the menu. Page Layout tab, Formulas tab, Data tab, and on and on. I'm going to go back to the Home tab, though. We'll be using this as our major point of reference. So we've got several tabs on the ribbon. Now, your ribbon might look like mine, or it might not. The ribbon is customizable. It changes depending on the size of your screen. It changes depending on whether you decide to customize it or not. So as long as you know what the ribbon is and how it looks in general, that's all I'm after right now. Okay, now to the left of the Home tab, there's a special tab called the File tab. I've got it down here, and it's also known as the Backstage view. If I click on it, I enter a different part of the menu system. I'll be covering the File tab in another recording. So for now, again, I'm just focusing on how the ribbon is displayed and how you can use it. Now, each of these tabs on the ribbon is subdivided into groups. So you see on the Home tab, I've got a font group right here. I've got an alignment group right here. I've got a number group right here. The name of the group is at the bottom. If I go to another tab, let's say the Page Layout tab, you also see it's subdivided into groups. Page Setup group, Scale to Fit group, and so on. So tabs are subdivided into groups, and each of these groups holds a list of command buttons. So you can see, for example, in the font group, there's maybe call it about 10 different command buttons found in here. Bold, italic, the font face, so buttons that let you increase the font size and decrease the font size. You might notice as I hover over a button, I'm not clicking, I get a little tooltip about that particular button. Okay, so again, in the alignment group, it's made up of a series of buttons. Okay, alignment buttons, wrapping text buttons, and so on. I will be covering some of these formatting buttons in subsequent recordings in this class and in others. For now, just make a note. Each group on each tab has command buttons. Now, I want to bring your attention down to this little note right here, command button submenus, drop-down arrows. Some of the buttons have drop-down arrows. So you might have noticed this. For example, the underline button has a drop-down arrow. If I click the drop-down arrow on a button, I get further choices. Call it a submenu. So the underline button does have further choices. Bold, however, does not. The insert button here does have further choices. If I click it, I get a list of things I can insert. And I can click that drop-down arrow again to close the menu. The clear button also has a submenu underneath it. If I click it again, I can collapse that particular submenu. So some buttons have further instructions that you can then issue by selecting from the submenu. Just a couple more things about the ribbon, and then we'll move on. You can collapse or expand the ribbon, and I've got a little pointer to this button here. Some people call it minimize and restoring, minimizing or maximizing the ribbon, expanding or collapsing. So up here on the ribbon, I see this little button, and I can tell by being able to see that the ribbon is exposed and available to me that it is in its restored or expanded condition. If I click that button, I collapse it. I still have the ribbon over here. It's not broken. It just now functions as a drop-down menu. It only displays when you click on a tab. When you come back onto your worksheet, the ribbon collapses. If you'd like to work this way, click this button until it's collapsed. If you'd prefer to see it expanded, click that button and the ribbon stays in your view the entire time you're working. Okay, one more little topic, something called a dialog box launcher. Now I'm on the Home tab. Some of these groups have a little icon in the lower right corner. That is called the dialog box launcher. what it indicates if you see one, and not all groups have them. You can see the Styles group does not, nor does the Cells group. But on every single tab in the ribbon, in every single group, you either have a dialog box launcher or you do not. If it is there and you click it, you open up a dialog box that lets you give further instructions pertaining to the particular group that you started in. I'm going to cancel this dialog box. I'm going to go to another tab, Page Layout tab, and I can see that the page setup does have a dialog box launcher, as does the Scale to Fit. This Arrange group does not. Let me click on the dialog box launcher, and that is a mouthful, to expand the dialog box pertaining to page setup, and you get to see more commands down here. I'm going to cancel this and go back to the Home tab. Okay, that rounds out this brief introduction to the ribbon. So make sure you understand all these things. The better you understand how the ribbon works and can work with it smoothly and efficiently, the better your working with Excel will be.